Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Football by the Sea. Once again, I'm John.
And I'm Jide. We're coming a little bit later this week, but the schedule might be changing, but nothing to worry about. It was an amazing weekend of football.
Pretty eventful. So much happened this weekend. I can't even. Looking at the results of every game was very shocking, you would say, in every league.
It was, in a way, it was satisfying to sort of see some big teams sort of get humbled, especially Brian. I think that made a lot of their fans pretty much remember,
I think Bayern had to remember that they are human beings.
yeah, like I don't know. All I can think of was Avengers Infinity War. And then it was like, you too will know what it's like to lose.
I mean, yeah, because they were literally the Avengers, and then they needed.
Yeah, I think they won like 23.
No,
straight
they weren't
games.
even the Avengers. They were basically Thanos, and they needed Thanos to come and just like show them what's good. But what they lost? What was it
4-1?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was surprised by how much they lost. But I guess it happens to everyone. Sometimes you just need to be brought back down.
yeah.
So in a way, I think maybe Dortmund has
A chance.
more of a chance now than before.
I mean, yeah, it'll make the league less boring, in my opinion. At least for anyone that's watching Bundesliga. I don't watch it that often, but now there's more incentive when there's more than one team just dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I try to watch the Bayern and the Dortmund games.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, but like now that that Bayern has lost, I feel like maybe. I mean, that was everybody's league back when the virus started, and they were the only league available, and everyone was watching the Bundesliga. Yeah, but anyway, that's the Bundesliga. Let's get back to everyone's favorite league, the Premier League.
Yeah, this is where the most shocking results were. I could not even explain what was happening. Man City, Chelsea, who else lost this past weekend? Well, we lost also. Ours was expected, though. I mean, Man City losing 5-2 to Leicester, that was okay. I mean, I feel like Pep is definitely under a lot more pressure this season. I know people like say, "Oh no, it's Pep," but with the recent performances going back from the Champions League last season into now, it just feels like there's some cracks that they're papering over. And defensively, they were shocking. Like in that game, very, very shocking.
Oh yes, they were bad. I don't know, with City. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit more complicated than people, because for a while, I feel like some people have wanted to see Pep's downfall for a while, because they always want to call him out because he's wherever he's gone to, he's always had the resources to get the best players. And I remember his first season at City, and people were like, "See, he can't do it in the English league game." Blah blah blah. Everyone was coming at him, and a lot of the stuff that's coming at him now is warranted, because I feel he has been messing a lot with the team.
Yeah.
Especially for the Champions League game. I was like, I don't know why he changed the style of that game. And for me, that speaks of, someone who's not sure of themselves.
Right. And I think
because the others, it was working. They won it in the game before. So, and I get, okay, Leon is a different team, and then maybe he thought he had to do this to break them down, which I guess, it's a toss-up in the air. As a coach, you live and die on the decisions you make. And I guess he must have felt deep down that he had to make this one.
Right, but it feels like he's followed that into this new season, and they don't look as secure. I mean, obviously, they made a few signings, but they haven't looked as secure.
Well, I think everyone's fear factor for pretty much all the teams is down right now. City don't look as scary as they used to. Like, even though Liverpool have won all their games, every team they've played against has created multiple chances against them. You weren't saying that about Liverpool last season.
Yep, that's true.
So I just feel like City's theirs has gone down a little bit more. People understand how to play against them better.
Right. And then Vardy getting the hat trick, points,
3 penalties in one game.
Yeah, that's actually what was really annoying. Like if you're Pep, you would be very, very upset. Like, how do you give away 3? And they weren't. They were like flimsy. They were very avoidable.
Yeah, it was poor. And
it was like schoolboy defending.
It's stuff that I personally feel like you cannot blame the manager for that. That is just your players not.
It was just really, really
doing
terrible.
Not doing
defending.
The fundamentals right.
Yeah, I just couldn't understand that. But I mean, they weren't the only ones. Chelsea getting a shock. Listen, I don't know how West Brom allowed this game to get away from them, but West Brom was up 3-0 at halftime against Chelsea, and somehow they let Chelsea come back and draw 3-3 by the end of the game. I mean, even just watching that game, like, I remember you came out the bathroom and I was like, yo, check the score, and then you were like, that look is like, what?
Hell yeah, because
this is real?
It was a promoted team against pretty much one of the best teams in the country. Although that's debatable at this point, but still, they were 3-0 up.
Yeah, and the goals they gave away to were very,
3 shots,
the
3
Thiago
goals.
Silva mistake that led to the second goal, I believe. That was
I know. I saw a lot of people using that to clown him and say he's a bad defender. But it was like, no, come on.
No, he's not a bad defender. It was just unfortunate in your first game to do that, especially with his reputation and everything. But it's just their performance was poor, and now like everyone is looking at Lampard like, okay, last season we said, hey, he's doing a great job with the kids, getting them, keeping them in the Champions League, with what he has. But now they're investing resources, and a lot of Chelsea fans are hyped, but they just have to understand that getting that team to work is not automatic. It's not just day one like that. He still has to be a good coach. And for all the praise that he's gotten, I just see him as an okay coach right now. I don't know if he's that guy.
I agree to a point, because I feel like he overachieved last season.
Yeah.
Which, is like in credit to him.
Yeah.
For what he did. But at the same, and like you said, he's brought in a bunch of new players, and they need time to gel and, get together. And they definitely will do that, because those are great players. Werner scored an amazing goal today in the Carabao Cup. Unfortunately, they went out on penalties. But with Chelsea, I feel like they need more time playing together. And I don't think Lampard is as good as the Chelsea fans want him to be. But I also don't think he's as bad as a lot of people say he is.
No, I don't think he's bad at all. I think
not saying that he's a bad coach, but like, let's say we're to give him a grade, like let's say out of 100, I feel like Chelsea fans would probably give him like an 80.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And I feel like people who don't like Chelsea want to say Lampard is probably like a 50, which he isn't.
I would give him like 65 to 70.
Yeah, I was leaning more towards like 70.
Yeah, I really want to see what he can. We'll know.
But the thing is that, his coaching career is still very early. So for him, like, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Sure. I'm just not 100% convinced.
Yeah, not 100. And like you said, it comes back to like to the most popular Spider-Man quote: "Great power comes great responsibility." This time, it's with great money comes great expectations.
It's pretty much what it is.
Because he's in a position where like most coaches will not have a blank check to get whatever player they want, especially that early in their career.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like that also puts more pressure on him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if he was at a different team that didn't have this much, the pressure won't be as much, and it won't be as much of a spotlight. So he'll be able to I feel like experiment more, learn about his players more, try to do things at a slower pace. With Chelsea, it's either go big, be successful, or get out of here.
Go big.
And I feel like being a Chelsea legend is only going to get him so far. Like, I feel like if they're not in the top 4 this season, he'll probably get sacked.
Let's see what happens. It's still very early. There's only been 3 games in the season.
It's still very early, but that's why I'm just saying, like, because with the money they've spent, being a legend is not gonna. Because being their legendary coach didn't save Mourinho from getting sacked the second time.
No, it didn't. Because the owner is he doesn't have any patience, pretty much.
Yeah, but his ruthlessness is what has helped them that they've been successful.
Yeah, which is true. We could use some of that over at Arsenal. Moving on to our game. That was yesterday. I can say that I wasn't as emotional, or I wasn't as
disappointed.
No, I was disappointed by the result, but I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't.
You weren't hurt.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yes, by the result. I mean, I wasn't expecting to win at Anfield. I don't think anyone expected Arsenal to win this game, but we wanted to see the progression under Arteta. We wanted to see, and I don't know if anyone expected us to beat Liverpool 3 times in 1 year, in 1 calendar year.
No, I mean 3 times in the space of like a month.
Yeah, basically 2 months or something. So I think the problems with Arsenal was that they were kind of timid, especially in the first half, in terms of not really pushing forward, trying to get the ball up. There was not enough service.
Oh yeah, there was nothing from Arsenal in the first half.
Yeah.
Right before the goal, like I was just looking at the stats and I was like, we had nothing.
We had like 0. We had like
0
1
shots.
attempt.
There wasn't an attempt. It was 0 shots.
No, it was only 1, and that was the one that Lacazette scored.
Yeah, I'm talking about up to the goal.
Yeah.
And even after,
Liverpool had 11. It's crazy.
Yeah, it comes down to what Klopp rightfully calls heavy metal football. They're like, they get in your face about it, and they're skillful enough to also keep the ball when you try to do it to them. I remember the playing from the back that pretty much worked against them very well in the Community Shield.
They nullified it because the front 3, once the ball was in any of the defenders feet, Mane, Salah, Firmino, someone was closing them down very, very intensely.
The fullbacks as well were also pretty high.
Yeah,
and they like pretty much just shut down the passing lane. So in a way, it was kind of like they were playing with a back 3 as well, because Fabinho was playing pretty deep,
right,
and he was in front of Van Dijk and Gomez.
In
a way, like when they had the ball, it was a back 3 for them, and they also had 5 in midfield, almost just like us. And so it was almost for man, and then they were able to like just shut it off.
Right.
So Liverpool deservedly winners. I was hoping that they won't get a 3rd goal.
Yeah, me too.
But they did. But it is what it is. But I feel like we said earlier,
and that goal could potentially have been handball. Like, we'll talk about that later.
I didn't think it was a handball personally. I thought it was fine. The one thing that I'll say that I think that sort of speaks more on Arsenal side is that like we definitely need some creativity in that midfield, because it was when Ceballos came in that like we got those chances.
Yeah, you can definitely see that there was more, because he held the ball up, drove forward.
Yeah,
defenders.
He plays the ball forward a lot more than the 2 we had.
Yeah, El Neni is just never going to be that guy. He's just always going to be side to side, and that's his game, and that's fine. But
yeah, sometimes you need that. But I was surprised that Nani was starting.
Yeah,
but I guess maybe because he played decently well in the Community Shield, which I'll say is fair on the coach to do that. But I just said, like I said, Arsenal needs that creative spark.
Yes,
in the middle. Yes. It's unfortunate what is going on with the Ozil thing, because I know the main reason why he's not playing Ozil. This is just my theory, is that Ozil is not the person that's going to press as hard.
No, he's definitely not that guy.
Because like watching Ozil play, I've seen times that people moan that like he doesn't track back. The truth is he does, but he just runs back. He's not pressing the player. if you go back and watch a lot of his highlights, when he loses the ball, he does try to run back to like be a man there. But like, you see how Liverpool is like, they're pretty much on you like white on rice.
Yeah.
Or the way how, what's his name? Sanchez was back in the Arsenal team. He always should like run back and like at least put one tackle in and before he'll stop. Also just runs back.
He's just like, I'm running back. You can see me. I'm working.
Because no one can ever deny his talent. It's just his lack of consistency. And I feel like that's just his style because I know he's not the first player for people to call lazy. People used to say that about Berbatov, that he was a lazy player, but it was just the way he was on the ball. He was very skillful. I used to think Van Nistelrooy, when he was a man, was like that. But like Van Nistelrooy was a poacher. He wasn't the one that was going to run and tackle and stuff. But like, I guess Ferguson just wanted him to, just do what you do it over there. So unfortunately, that's what it is. On the other hand, for Liverpool,
I mean, they were beasting, to be honest.
No, they were.
I think they played their best game so far this of the 3 games of the season. They played way better against us than I think they did against the other 2 teams, Leeds and Chelsea. Even though the Chelsea game, they got the red card, kind of basically handed them that game. They played significant. I feel like they were just way more on it.
They've gotten better with each game.
And I think it was also the fact that they knew we were going to play out from the back. They learned their lessons from the last 2 games that they played against
No, they
us.
definitely did, but you could see that, like you said, in the Chelsea game, they played better than they did in the Leeds game.
Right.
And the Arsenal game, they played better. So they've gotten better with each game.
Right.
It's like their fitness, their sharpness, their hunger,
Right,
all of that is
back.
like, it's all coming back. It's all getting all back dialed up to 10. The one thing though is like, so far every team has been able to cut them open to create chances, unlike last season.
Yes, that was one thing.
Chelsea with 10 men still created opportunities.
Yes,
as boring as Arsenal were, they still created
had chances. But we weren't clinical.
Leeds cut them open multiple times because of how they play.
And that's the thing, is that when everything is going through either the fullbacks, I feel like that's why they got Thiago in, so that he could bring in that midfield presence to really control.
Thiago is a baller. I remember after that Chelsea game, he only played 45 minutes, but made more passes than the entire Chelsea team.
Exactly.
That is an insane number. I was like, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd just like hide my face. Like, come on.
No, I mean, the consolation was that they were down to 10 men. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it could be, Liverpool's league again, but then, like you said, it's just the 3rd game.
Yeah, so let's not.
If we're saying they've won the league already right now, no, like anything can happen. They could get an injury crisis,
right? And then at the same time, on the other side for Arsenal too, it's also the 3rd game. We started the season well so far. This has been the first real test of the season, and
they failed.
I don't think it was a test that anyone thought there was going to be a pass, but there was the opportunity to get a draw. And if Lacazette scored a chance, it could very well have been a different game. We could have very well come out with a point and not played the best, and then but you could still see the systematic improvement, as opposed to every time we've gone to Anfield, my heart has been in my throat because it was just a thrashing. It was just poor for the whole game. So that's the only kind of positive you can take away from the Arsenal performance, is that we were in the game up until the very end of the game.
I didn't really take anything away from it. I just took it as like, it's a game that like we are not at the level.
And yeah, Arteta said that in his press conference. He said that team has been together for like 5 years. They know who they are. Yeah, he said we're nowhere close.
Yeah, for me it was like, a high schooler playing against an elementary schooler. I was like, Yeah, there wasn't much there. There's just that much. That gap right now is still massive.
It's massive, but I see more improvements. Considering this is the third time that we played them,
I understand what you're saying.
Yes,
I just felt like, for me, except if we took something from the game, there wasn't really anything to like write home. That's just me personally.
Right, and that's fine. I'm looking at the performance. I'm looking at it's not. I mean, it was not a very. I'm not saying it was a good performance, but I didn't come away with that sinking feeling like, here we go again. Season's gone. You know.
Yeah, I get it.
And that for me is so I don't know why, but somehow that is valuable compared to how we've felt the last couple of seasons. The first few games, we're already depressed about the season.
Yeah, I understand that.
So, and the thing is, I don't think now, apart from Liverpool or City, we're not really scared to face other big teams. Even City, I don't think we're scared to face them.
No, we're not scared to face any team. And speaking of a team we're not scared of, what do you think of Man U?
Yeah, this game, honestly, and this is one thing that I felt for a long time, Ole is just not that guy. Because if you look at Man U's team on paper, they should be killing everyone. Like, on paper, that team is a world-class team. Somehow...
No, they're not.
On paper, you have Pogba and Fernandes in the middle.
Yeah, you could say their midfield and their attack, but not their defense.
Of course, yes, not their defense. But it's not just the defense that was bad. They're not coordinated as a team. Because everyone was saying, Rashford and Martial and everyone is going to be... Van de Beek is looking like a bright spot for them. But I don't know. They just need something maybe solid, maybe a CDM. I don't know. But the tactics are not working. And the fact that they got away with one, at first I kind of felt bad for Brighton. And I was like, you finally got the equalizer in the 95th minute or something, 92nd minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just gave it away. And it's just like...
Yeah, football can be cruel sometimes. But for what was his name? Mope? Why would you put your hands up like that? There's no sympathy there.
At the same time, I didn't feel very bad.
Like, what sort of rush of blood to the head?
Right, because he got Leno injured last season, and it kind of worked out for us with the whole Martinez situation, but still, that was a very annoying...
Not even putting that aside, it was just like,
it was.
What
dumb.
Are you doing?
It was dumb.
Why would you put your hand like that?
You're about to get a point.
Because the funny thing, the ball that deflected off his hand sort of took it away from the keeper and made it loop over the keeper and almost went in. And luckily, they had someone on the line. If he didn't put his hand to block it, it would have probably gone straight at the keeper and he would have saved it. End of game.
It was just.
For me, the thing was like, Brighton hit the post 5 times in that game. They deserved to win that game. They
should have won that game, to be honest. They should have won that game. And this is the thing about smaller teams you notice. You notice it with the West Brom-Chelsea game. Letting Chelsea come back to draw that game after being 3-0 up at halftime. There's something about the mid to lower table teams that they don't...
I think it's a mentality thing.
Yeah, it's like...
Because, I feel it's that because most big teams, normally you don't stop playing until the final whistle.
Like, you have to secure the bag.
For most smaller teams, it's like, we have a decent lead. Let's just try to...
Yeah, they just drop off or
save it.
Have a lapse in concentration. You can't be 3-0 up and then just lose that. Can't do what Brighton did.
Stuff like that happens. It's happened to the biggest teams as well. It's just like when it comes to Man U, I feel like what Bruno did for them in the attacking sense. Like you said, they need someone to do that for them in the defensive
area,
and
It's definitely not
And
Maguire.
Maguire is not that guy. Lindelof is not that
Phew,
guy.
man.
I think it just comes down to like just finding the right partnership.
Right. And it's not like this is we can say, oh, it's just a third game, but for Man U, I feel like we're just continuing from last season, pretty much. I don't really see.
No, because towards the end of last season, before the Europa stuff, they had gotten the most points in the league. They had won the most games after the restart.
Right, but
I mean, it could be a case of,
they,
like teams know how to play against them now or to nullify their attack.
were they stopping goals, or were they still conceding during that time? And that's one other
They
factor
weren't,
that I
but
have
not
to
as
take into
much.
account.
They weren't, but the main thing is that they were winning. And I won't lie myself, based on how well they were clicking and stuff, I was expecting more from that, at least from these first two games.
I just feel like tactically, Ole hasn't really. I think it's what I'm seeing is individual improvements. I'm not seeing a collective team improvement. I'm seeing like when he first came in, we saw
You're
that
seeing, like players stepping up. And
yeah,
like,
we're seeing what's it called, runs and good form, but we're not seeing much of consistency, which is something that in the style of how they play. And that's one thing that
I think right now their style is like a counter-attacking style, because they're most threatening when you see people like Rashford, Greenwood, Martial like running at you. But like, and then Bruno is the one who sort of makes those incisive passes and stuff when they have the ball and stuff. And if he doesn't do it, no one else is doing it. But like you said, it's still early. Maybe they also need more time to gel.
It's early.
They're a week behind everyone else, so maybe they don't have the sharpness yet.
I don't.
It could be that. It's speculation. It could be that, but
it's only that I don't.
It's
I
just
don't
that,
have
like,
the faith in them. That's all I'm saying.
It's too early.
Yeah, but I'm not.
But just based off that match, yeah, you don't feel like
I'm not holding out any hope for what they're gonna do this season. I mean, obviously they'll play well, but I just don't know where they will finish. But yeah, that was another big game. Which other game?
Hi, Gina here. One half of Football by the Sea. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more, check out our channel. And if you enjoy the content we're putting up, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Everyone counts. If you want to listen to the full podcast, check out the links in the description. You can find us on pretty much every podcast platform out there. Thanks again for watching. Take care.